Welcome to another powerful episode of the Neoliberal Around podcast, where we talk about a range of issues from politics to sports and even cybersecurity. And actually, I promise you guys that we're going to talk about cybersecurity today, and probably particularly DDoS. And we have today on the Neoliberal Around podcast my vice president, my IT vice president, who's also the president of Ant Business Solutions. And we're going to talk about Ant Business Solutions and so on and so forth. But I am happy to have with me the man of the hour, Ramon Henry. What's up, Ramon?
All right, hi man, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here to discuss this issue regarding DDoS attacks, as it's been on the rise lately along with brute force. So it'd be
Yes.
nice to inform the public about this.
And yes, we will delve into the world of cybersecurity, cyber threats, and the ever evolving landscape of digital security. Of course,
That's
I'm your
correct.
host, Ronaldo McKenzie, and today, as I said before, we have a special guest who is not really a guest. Joining us, Ramon Henry is the IT vice president at the Neoliberal Corporation and the president of Ant Business Solutions. We are going to explore a pressing issue that affects business of all sizes, DDoS. And DDoS means, I believe, what does it mean? Distributed. What does DDoS mean again?
Okay, so
DDoS attack.
DDoS attack means distributed denial of service attack. So what this does is that they flood your internet or your website or web server with a lot of internet traffic. What this does is prevent other users, like legitimate users, from actually accessing and connecting to your online services. This is actually a crime, a cyber crime, which you can do anywhere from 5 to 20 years in prison for, based on the scale.
In Jamaica or in the US?
Um, well, in Jamaica, cybercrime starts at 5 to 15 years.
Oh,
In the
wow.
US, it can go up to as high as 30 years or sometime life in prison, dependent on the
Oh,
crime.
oh, wow, wow, wow. And just so you know that I am in the US here and Ramon is in Jamaica, but we operate a business that is international and global. And we are content creators. Ramon and I, we are content creators. We run an organization together. And we are, I say that we're startup business owners in a sense. And I've personally experienced the devastating effects of DDoS attacks on my websites, theneilabor.com and McKenzie.com, and my devices. And because it affects other things other than not just your website, but your devices. Am I right?
Well, it depends on the devices. So if they're attacking,
Mm.
for example, an organization's infrastructure, they will start by attacking the company's firewall and then work their way into their network infrastructure.
Oh, wow. What does that look like? And by the way, just so you know, before you respond, so you said DDoS stands for distributed denial of service, which is a type of malware that targets web servers, domains, and IP addresses.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
Okay.
correct.
So, all right. So, but so one of the so the question for you is, as we break down DDoS attack for our listeners who might not be familiar with them.
Yeah.
So again, what exactly is DDoS if it does not involve devices? Is it just networks and domains and IP addresses?
No, it's not. Those are usually the primary target because those are usually the more easier way to get in, but it can be
Yes.
used on a much wider scale. And the
Yes.
motivation for actually carrying these out, actually, it varies. Some do it as a challenge, some do it as a
Yes.
way to bring down a competitor, some do it as a way to bring down a company. So, like I say, the scale of it's very vague. So some attacks actually are carried out by disgruntled individual, like for example, activists. They say, okay,
Yes.
they're not pleased with the way you're running your company, they don't pleased with your image, what you do, what they do, they try to bring you down. So they
Oh
tend,
wow, this is powerful what you have just said.
yeah.
And
So
what we do, we're a think tank, and we have that. Anyway, so sorry for cutting you. This is intense. Go ahead. Repeat that last part that you just said. That part. I love it. Go ahead.
yes. Okay, so I was saying before, you have activists that tries to bring down companies, competitors, those that do business in a way that they don't like. So, you
Yes.
have like those, oh, I do not like this company. I do not like the way they do business. I do not like their procedures, but I'm going to try to bring them down. So they tend to use ways of like DDoS, what they usually tend to layer it, what is also known as like worms, Trojan, spiders, which is
Yes.
also forms of virus. So these are actually some of the more popularly used viruses that is also used along with a DDoS attack to weaken your defenses.
I have a question because we talk about why has it become, well, before I ask you, why has it become such a widespread issue? And you did allude to the fact that people are people will attack you if a competitor will attack you, or if they don't like your image, or if you're an activist or something of the sort, then
Yeah,
you will get you're attacked by
yeah,
the status quo, by the system.
yeah.
Yes. And
That
one
is
time
also
Russia was on my system. When we just started this podcast, we were talking about when I just started the neoliberal run, and I've been under a lot of attack for the neoliberal run. When we just started the podcast, Russia was on my system, and I got a VPS. And then you told me, no, you need a VPN, but we don't have enough money to get a VPN. And the different VPN is a virtual process. What a VPN
no.
again?
Okay, so what I was saying that you needed a VPS, which is a virtual private server and not a shared
Yes,
server, because even both shared and VPS hostings have their pros and cons. For
yes,
example, with shared hosting, you don't have to do any of the heavy lifting.
yes,
However, you are sharing resources with other websites. So if
yes,
someone else's website becomes compromised, yours may also become compromised because you're all
yes,
sharing a single server with a single public IP address. So if the one IP address become compromised, every site on that shared server can become compromised. But most people tend to go shared one because of cost, and two,
okay,
which with the what they're doing, like most corporate sites, there's like, oh, it's just information, it's just content. They're not really processing any information or store
yeah,
much data, they will tend to go that route.
right,
All right, so usually a VPS is usually way more secured because you have dedicated IP, a dedicated server. The downside is that you have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, the server configurations, the security protocols, make sure all of those are met as well. So what we also do is use web applications firewall.
okay,
Okay, so these are more common with AWS because all their servers do come with web application firewalls. Some more cheaper services don't. So the alternative is a good alternative actually is Cloudflare. They actually have a free tier all the way up to enterprise. And the benefit with using Cloudflare is that you have that additional layer of protection where it has the option for you to enable what is known as under attack mode, where you can use to
yes,
prevent DDoS attacks and brute force attacks. So what
okay.
it does is
So you have brute force attack, and that's different from DDoS attack.
so brute force attack, what they're doing is trying to guess your website's credentials or login to get to like your admin panels, your hosting panels, and so forth. So what they do, they run that they try to guess the username or the username structure, then have the
Yes,
brute force try to figure out the password. For those that use content management systems such as WordPress, Joomla, or Drupal, which are the three
yeah.
more popular ones, tend to be more of a target.
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh wow.
what is usually recommended in this case is that you
Yes,
use a security extension or plugin with those CMS as well, which helps to prevent and weaken the brute force attempts. So that allows again, the more popular ones would be like Loginizer or WordFence.
yeah.
Okay. So what you
You're
can also
talking now. You're talking about how to mitigate, how to
Yes,
deal with. Okay,
auto
man.
deal with it. So the best way, so once you have these, you can enable multi-factor authentication, passwordless login, where for example, what passwordless login is, for most people that don't know, is that what it does, it sends an email to the email just associated with the account or users trying to log in, they use that link to log in. So for them to be able to actually get in with using password is that they have to actually hack your email first. I know what your email is to get to that. So you actually add multiple layers of security. And for these CMS website, brute force is actually the most common form of attack for them, second to DDoS attacks.
Yes. Oh, and one of the questions I'd asked, why has it become such a widespread issue? And how can content create or small startup content creators like ourselves, how can we minimize such attacks? So the first question is, how do we, how why is it if you know how why has it become such a widespread issue?
Actually, it's actually cyber crimes have actually been on the rise since 2014, but
Yes.
it's actually getting to the point where it's actually escalating beyond what it was before. Before
Yes.
it was happening, but not on such a wide scale because in modern time and in the technical age, information is key.
Yes. Yes.
And to be honest, for some of these hackers that try to exploit these cyber weaknesses, they just do it to see if they can. You do have malicious people like, hey, I don't have no reason for hacking your site. I just need to see if I can do it. There are people like that out there. Some are actually doing it with the intention to bring you down. So
Yes.
it's
Yes.
best it's best to put practice in place to prevent this. Like I said, a more popular web application firewall is Cloudflare because one, it starts at a free tier. So if you just need like basic security and protection, no DDoS protection, under attack protection, the
Yes.
basic stuff that will work for you can always start with a free tier unless you see the need to go from the free tier to their more advanced tiers, which
Okay.
comes with additional security features. It also helps with your website performance as well, because it also has an option that's called always online mode, where it uses
Yes.
your cached version of your site to keep your site up in case of an attack.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And by the
So
way, okay, go ahead.
yeah,
So
so
I was gonna ask you, are you finished with your point?
you can go ahead.
Because I was gonna say to you that okay, the Neoliberal Corporation and Space Solution, we had an issue the other day. I was in the middle of I was on a website writing an article about to publish it, and suddenly I had no access. The website was still up and running, but we were clicking on it and nothing was happening, and then there was a downtime. I couldn't log into the website. I called Bluehost. Bluehost said to me, oh, it's a 1 week to 7 days. We're not sure what's going on, but then I tried to back up the computer 2 hours earlier because it happened. Say, for example, it was 4 o'clock. It happened at 3:30. And so they said, well, you did a backup at the wrong one. And it's good to have backup on your computer.
Yeah.
They said, okay, yes, you did a backup, go back, do a restore. So they actually did that. I had to call them back after I spoke with you. So according to another IT person at Bluehost I spoke with, they said, well, it could be that you had a DDoS and the whole DDoS. But I want you to say, I mean, explore some of the issues. What are some of the steps that you were able to take for your organization and for us in terms of resolving some of our issues? I know one of the things you did was you did mention the issue about Cloudflare and firewall, but these things are very expensive. What are some of the steps that we are taking at the Neoliberal and Ants to respond to some of the cyber threats, and what can you suggest other people to do? Something that's probably not as expensive.
All right. So like I had mentioned earlier, for those with basic protection with Cloudflare does have a free option.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they do have a free option. It only starts going up when you start going in looking at their business plan, the professional plans, or even more so their enterprise packages.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
enterprise, yes, because their enterprise plan is based on the number of sites you're trying to protect,
Yeah.
and it also comes with a lot of IP configuration, protection, routing, similar to a physical firewall.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So need to take all that into consideration. So as a small company, small to medium company, or as a startup, their free tier would actually be perfect for people like those. For those who are looking more of a larger organization, I usually recommend at least starting with their professional plan or their business plan. But if their business plan is a bit too much, you can always go with the professional plan.
Okay. And you and here at the Neoliberal, we also offer web services, and your expertise is vital. And you're the president of Ant Business Solutions. What are some of the services that we or you or yourself offer at Ant Business Solution? What are some of the things that we can offer to companies or who are dealing with issues like this?
Okay, so we do cybersecurity analysis and assessment on websites to see what are the gaps that are there, what needs to be addressed. So is what we do in-house at every new site that is deployed, it is deployed behind a Cloudflare web application firewall. None of them is deployed without this firewall. all of our sites are deployed, all of our CMS sites are also deployed with security plugins built in as well and our servers also do malware scanning as well to detect any malicious activity, which also checks not just for files, but scripts of the sites that we do build and push out. So that is a core of all of our website development and design packages. We also offer, like I said, design and development. We do digital branding, search engine optimization as well, along with mobile marketing and website hosting. So we have, for example, like our website hosting now, we have
Yes.
various plans that are targeted to small, medium, and large corporations. So it's not just, hey, we're not just focusing on just the big guys up there. We do have something for everybody.
Right. And by the way, although I say that we might be a small startup, we're not a small company. We are a serious company with
Yeah.
high reputation. You've been in the business for a very long time. I've been in the business, well, an academic business for a very long time.
Yes.
I run a different aspect of the business. But by the way, I heard that Google just sold their hosting. Is it the hosting? Google domain just sold to Squarespace.
Yes.
Squarespace. Yes.
They're currently in negotiation. I don't think the sale has been finalized as yet, but that
Yes.
should be an interesting change over
Well,
there.
just yeah, and we offer domains, or what do we
Yes,
offer?
we do. We do offer domain registration processes as well. So we do have act as a registrar where
Yes.
we do register your domains, we maintain it, your DNS, and all of that as well. So
Oh,
we're basically a one-stop shop.
for everything, just so you know,
Yes.
yeah, even publishing and
Yeah.
podcasting. That's great. Now, you've been the president for Ants Business Solutions. What's the next? How long have you been? When did you start this company?
Okay, so I started this company in 2016.
Oh, that's before COVID. Some people just started during the COVID time,
Yeah.
but you started way before that.
Yeah. So I've been around
Okay.
before COVID. Putting a lot of effort to grow. Well, no, in the beginning it was slow, but we started to pick up. We also started growing where we'd have a few staff on board now, our database administrators, our analysis and so forth. So yeah, it was a bit rough in the beginning, but we have grown. We made it through COVID, thank God. COVID was
Yes.
rough.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Yeah.
It's been yeah, and you know what, and the neoliberal is about 2 years old, so I need to not complain. You've been around from 2016, so I understand that's quite powerful. And what has been the business like in terms of navigating the business world? How has it been? I mean, how were you able to overcome the challenges? I know we're talking about cybersecurity and cyber
Yeah.
threats, and you provided a ways. One of the ways they can deal with some of their cybersecurity is, of course, by
Hmm.
company speaking with us, and we
Yes.
okay speaking with us, we know how to fix the problem. You came on board and fixed the problem for us right away. We were dealing with a lot of issues, malware and so on. We lost hundreds of customers, but you came on board and you fixed that for us. So give us some how are you able to overcome some of the challenges as a new business in the IT world?
Well, so the biggest challenge to me was my competitors because a lot of them were established like from the 90s, the early 2000s.
Yes.
So going up against a lot of them was very difficult. I was legit out in the streets, like walking, commuting, going businesses. Like, hey, these are the services we offer. Give them brochures, flyers. Can reach out to us. Here's a site. You can go ahead and take a look at all our costs, pricing. Took a little while to get everything set up and flowing as it should. But
Yes.
it was like that, man. It's like just out there. It's like I wasn't like, oh, sitting in front of a contract. I did the email marketing and the social media marketing, but I also like went out there. Like I went to small businesses. I looked and was like, hey, I looked you up, realized you don't have an online presence. We offer all of these services. I feel like these will be better tailored to your company and your needs. I give them my online things that, hey, I could do all of this for you. If you're
Yes.
interested, here's my card. You can reach out to me. I was visiting like easily 10 to 15 different businesses a week.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow,
One,
wow.
yeah. Like,
That
yeah,
is good.
I remember taking bus to like the other end of the island.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I was like, okay, because I realized like, hey, the tourism in Mobile is a very big thing. So I was like, hey, let me see if I can reach out to these people. Because
Mm,
it's for a lot of people, right? Because what I came to learn is that some people like, hey, you might send them an email, make a call, but you probably never hear back from them. But
yeah.
if you go there, they see you and can interact with you. They say, all right, probably I can, because that's what I did that's how I got most of my business. Like I said, because I did a lot of email marketing, social media marketing. I got like 10% of my business from that.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
others were the people that actually went out there, went to find them,
Uh,
met with, asked for time to meet with them. I was like, hey,
yeah.
I know, like, yeah, I show up. I say, hey, I know you're probably busy. Just give me like 2 minutes of your time. Hear what I gotta say. If you don't like what I'm saying, free to go our separate ways. If you like what I'm saying, hey, we can dig deeper into it, go into further discussions. So though that actually worked more for me. The only thing was tiring, always going out there on the road, come on, to make sure you don't play.
This job, IT guys, people who content creating, it's as if there is no structure. You don't sleep. You're
Yeah,
always
so
up working. Probably might get a 1, 2 hour sleep here and there, but we are always working. It
yeah,
takes a
so
lot of your time.
that's what, yeah, man, that's what it was like in the beginning. And then, word of mouth started to spread, and it's like I was
Yes,
able, so it kind of slowed down that aspect of it. So then I focus more on stabilizing my online presence, for
yes,
example, or my portal, because I have an online portal where everybody can go, they can go and pay for a service, request register a domain. You say that way I can speed up their process by having less interaction with me.
yes,
Because
yes,
a lot of people is like, hey, I need this now, I need to get this done now. So by setting up our online portal, we actually were able to increase productivity on that sense, where people can come in and just request a service they want, pay for it online,
yes, yes,
for the study. Because, like I said, there are a lot of parts of our domain and hosting process. Hostings are usually an instant setup, or VPS rollout, usually tell them it's like 2 to 3 days because that takes a lot of, in the early phase is a lot of manual configuration. So to ensure that everything is set properly, everything is working properly, DNS is configured properly, the DNS
yes,
zones on it is configured. So and then the big dot, once I started, getting a stride, getting a better understanding.
yes. Ramon, 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 Ramon. We're having a problem. Hello? Oh, your mic is muted.
Hello?
Yeah, your mic went on mute. Sorry. Yes, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
I couldn't hear you at first. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah. So yeah, that was, like I said, in the beginning was very difficult. So actually, with all of that experience, I've actually learned how to speed up a lot of these processes. Because like I said, I've had people that hate any stuff done. Like, no, they can't wait that long. So it's like, because so a lot of it actually did come with experience. Like I can look at stuff and it's like, hey, oh, this doesn't look right. Just like, or this is probably the root cause. So address the root cause, which
Yeah.
is which is I was able to actually fix a lot of your problems. So it's because those are things I've come across before.
Yes. 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 I was dealing with a lot, man.
Yeah. So
And you constantly talk about the issue, and I probably have to have another podcast because I don't want to be too long. Because I want to talk about the issue of the competition and how there are those persons who want other people to fail, and some of them are because. And I am very suspicious of buying some services because I think that, say for example, Cloudflare. I had Cloudflare on the RonaldoCMcKenzie.com website. But I thought that wasn't important, so I got rid of it or something. I don't know. Many about 6 months ago or something, or 3 months ago. So, but I think now but now you're telling me Cloudflare is necessary. I thought Cloudflare was associated with some what they call it with I thought Cloudflare was a malware or spyware. I saw it on the computer. I'm like, I don't remember getting malware. I should have probably spoken to you first.
yeah, uh, yeah. So I like I said, Cloudflare has become a necessary and very
Yeah.
necessary player in the industry. Because like I said, yeah, for example, for those with like physical infrastructures, they tend to go more along the line of physical firewalls. So
Yes,
the
yes,
more
yes.
popular ones are usually like Fortinet, which is
I
the
mean,
Fortinet
in terms
FortiGate.
of dealing with DDoS malwares and
Yeah,
so on and so forth. Okay.
yeah.
And by the way,
So
there's a difference between malware and spyware. Yes.
yes.
DDoS is a malware, but spyware would be like the
So, all
brute
right, but
force.
what spyware does that? Spyware doesn't necessarily attack your system. It
Yes.
What it does is try to leak your information.
Oh, so the
Yeah,
spyware leaks information.
yeah.
Malware steals information or shuts
So
down.
malware more attacks your hardware, but it does it slowly, so you don't notice it as quickly. The ones you should really be like conscious of is the ones that are called worms.
Oh, that's even worse than DDoS?
So no, worms is a form of virus like malware, but it acts way faster. It's way more malicious. Once it hits, it hits.
Oh,
You don't
wow.
really have a lot of time to. It doesn't really give you time to respond.
Yeah, yeah.
With
Oh,
malware, you
wow.
can just okay. If you detect it, you have time to respond, time to clean, time to probably you can even undo what some of the time what with worms that is not the case.
Okay, okay, okay,
Like
okay.
they're like that.
Yes, yes.
So it is also very important to have endpoint protection. So a lot of the
Endpoint protection.
yes
Boy, you're giving us a lot of food for you give it rice and peas and chicken and lettuce
yeah
and
so
this is
more
quite a
endpoint
lot. Hold on, let's put it together so we don't confuse our viewers and
yeah.
listeners. So wait, hold up. So you went to so we talk about cyber threat, cyber attack. We talk
Mhm.
about DDoS, distributed denial of service, which is a malware, and then you talk about brute force, and then you talk about worms, and now you're saying you talk about in terms of one of the ways of dealing with worms is through endpoint protection,
Yes.
which is different from. So wait, hold on. Let me ask
So
you.
all right, and all right, okay, so let me
No,
break
wait,
it
hold.
down.
This is too
So
much. If I have a malware issue, I don't have a lot of money to begin with. I have a malware issue, DDoS. Yeah, okay, I get Cloudflare, but then I have a brute force attack. They say, what do I get for that one?
okay, so here's the thing. Cloudflare can does help with brute force.
Okay.
Okay, so with Cloudflare, there's a switch you can click literally flick. It's called under attack mode. So what it does is that every connection to your service or your website, it literally has to go through a check to verify that it's not a malicious connection, whether it's DOS or DDoS
Yeah.
or brute force, because you do have DOS attack and DDoS attack.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
This. Oh wow. This is interesting.
so the DDoS is
Yes.
what we mentioned before is the distributed denial of service, where DOS is just a regular denial of service. But
Oh,
DDoS is more common than DOS because DDoS is more widespread than DOS.
okay. Okay. Okay.
But both of them are still just as threatening. Is so you should not try to disregard it and say, oh, maybe DOS is not as threatening as DDoS. No, treat them with same urgency. Any form of attack must be treated with extreme urgency at all time, regardless of how small or how little you think it is. Which is
And then
also
the worms.
yes, which
And
is
then the worms.
also part of the reason why all our hosting servers are equipped with antivirus software to scan for malware, spywares, and so forth.
Okay, the hosting. So what about McAfee and those people?
Okay,
See,
okay, so
I
those
really
are
think that McAfee and some of these
okay.
people,
So what you're
I
referring
think
to
they
is,
have virus. I think they have
or what you're referring
they
to
put
is
a lot of
so
yes,
antivirus is also a part of your endpoint protection for your client
antivirus.
machines,
Yeah.
right? But it's a so what I usually recommend is that people to get the antivirus that they believe is best suited for them. For
Yeah.
me, I prefer to use Bitdefender.
Bit defender.
Yeah, so I use Bitdefender Total Security as on every machine in my house, throughout the office, like all of them.
Let me
So
make
there's
this is interesting. Guys, you see, we have experts at the Neoliberal Corporation and Ant Business. I'm telling you. So but this sounds like a lot of money.
actually,
Bitdefender for antivirus, endpoint protection for the worms, and
yeah, so you're
Cloudflare.
So
People
like I
don't have
with
a lot of money. So go ahead.
here's the thing. It's not like in the past where antivirus softwares were expensive. They
Yeah.
actually became way more affordable.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so for example, five license for a year could probably bring like 45, 50 US.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Opposed to like back in the day where a single license for an antivirus was only like 2 to 300 US. So,
Yeah.
like I said, because back then, why it was so expensive, there wasn't a lot of options. It was very, the known players are like Norton, McAfee, that's right. But
Yeah.
then it expanded, and Kaspersky came in, ESET, Bitdefender, and a few other guys came in as well. AVG. So with it become more affordable, more as I said, not more affordable, but more available, it became more affordable.
Yeah.
So, for
Uh,
example, for me protecting 10 machines with the regular antivirus endpoint, which is total security, which I use, I'm able to protect 10 machines for 60 US
per month,
a year.
60 US a whole year.
Yeah, so whole year.
That is good.
Yeah. And the reason why I went, because I said back in the day, I wasn't usually a big antivirus fan, when I was younger in school until I
Yeah.
got hit with ransomware.
Yeah.
What actually saved me was the fact that I already had all my files backed up externally. So I got hit with ransomware. They were demanding a lot of money to unlock the files and remove the decryption. Like I couldn't even do anything on my computer. So I was like, yeah, I just wiped everything, wiped the machine clean, new hard drive. And then this is what actually pushed me to start using antivirus softwares.
Right. Because you were hit with you were also hit with this ransom thing where they
Yes,
hijacked
ransomware.
your ransomware.
Yes, it was, I think it was around like 2012, 2013. I was like,
What
all right,
ransomware? That's what they call
yes.
that's the term for it. When they
Yes,
hijack your
what
computer.
ransomware does is that once it gets onto your computer, it encrypts all of your files, all of your data. You cannot do anything with your own information. So what the
Yeah.
usual things is, okay, they get this pop-up saying, hey, I have encrypted all of your files, send me X amount in cryptocurrency. They usually tend to ask for a lot of money because I think at the time they say, hey, I have to pay like 500 US in cryptocurrency for them to remove the
Wow.
encryption from all my files. But like I said, luckily I had external backups of all of my
Yeah.
information. So I could just easily say, okay, screw it, wipe drives, new drive, start
Yeah.
fresh. And then from there, I went, so like, you know what, I'm not running no without an antivirus anymore. That's when I started going through a lot. I was going through AVG, McAfee, ESET, Kaspersky, Bitdefend, and after comparing all, eventually I could have trial version with all of them. Then I settled on, hey, Bitdefender does everything I need. It's affordable. I got a lot of controls. So that's one I've been using ever since. Because
Yes.
the thing what I like about it, it also comes with its own built-in firewall. So you have the antivirus firewall plus the built-in firewall from Windows, which also gives you additional protection. Because like I said, you don't have to just be like, oh, a business. They can attack you too as an individual or
Yeah.
minding your own business, especially if you tend to use a lot of public Wi-Fi. That's the easiest way for them to like attack your machine, steal your information, which is why I usually recommend that people that use public Wi-Fi, especially if you know it's not a trusted Wi-Fi, you just spend, oh, let me use a VPN on your machine with that connection for that
Okay.
additional level of protection and security. So you protect not only yourself, but your information as well.
Yes. A VPN, not a
VPS.
VPS.
It's not VPN. VPN stands for virtual private network, which allows
Right.
you to encrypt your connection, also change your IP to change your location, and so forth.
Okay.
You do have some browsers like Tor that has this built right in to their browser.
Okay. Right.
Okay. Yeah, so there are a lot of VPN services out there. They're the more popular like ExpressVPN or VPN, Pure, Keep Solid. Those are usually the more popular one, but you do have a few others out there that's also more affordable.
I had a VPN and they were turning it off through
Yeah, and
Verizon. They were
even
turning it off when they turn it off when they when they wanted to go on my computer and then turn it back on. I was always having that problem. Why do
So
they have that problem to just is that something that
that
could happen?
usually happens with if you're using free VPN service because they use rate limiting. So
Yeah.
once you reach a certain, they use a certain amount of data, transfer or receive a certain amount of data, it automatically shuts off.
Oh wow,
So
wow,
some
wow.
of them do is like you can do 200 megabytes of data an hour or
Yes.
2 to 5 gigs a day. So that's where your rate limit. Those are the free ones. They tend to do that to try to, like I said, they start out free, then they do that to push you to pay for the services. Um, I said the VPN service I use is actually Keep Solid,
Yeah.
which I've been using for years. I have no issues with it at all. It works how it's supposed to work. I even have it configured on my router in the host. So every internet traffic that goes through automatically goes through that VPN. Once you're on connected either my guest network or my in-house network, you are automatically going through a VPN.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
So
issue of cybersecurity is quite important, and you're
yes,
saying that we as individuals, companies, businesses, especially if you're involved in a business like what we are in,
yes,
you
can be
have
affected.
to put the security get you have to put the security in place.
That is correct, especially if you are a high position holding person in a company as well. They tend to be more of a target. For example, like directors, executives, they tend to be targeted a lot because, for example, they hold certain level of information that is not privy to others in the company, and there are malicious players that would want that information. So they
Yes.
usually also tend to target those people as well. So those in those positions should really consider taking necessary steps to protect themselves as well.
Okay, this is good. Well, thank you. Wise words from Ramon, Mr. Henry, the one of the presidents here at the Neoliberal Corporation and Business Solution. In charge, he runs our IT and all of that. He's very knowledgeable. He's helped us out on a number of issues. Now, as we wrap up, I know we're gonna have to have more shows like this, and we plan to do that for the audience. We plan to do that for our fans and our followers. But as we wrap up, how can people get a hold of you? Of course, they can contact us at the Neoliberal
Yeah.
Corporation. You're on
So
Facebook, yes?
yeah, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can send us a message via our website. We have either our corporate website or via our customer portal.
Yes.
So our corporate site is antsbusinesssolutions.com. Our customer portal is antshosting.com. You could always send us a message there as well. We do have live chat enabled on our sites throughout the workday, which is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Ant
as well.
hosting, which is ANTZ, guys, not
Yes,
ANTS, but it's ANTZ.
easy.
Or for Jamaica, it's Z, or people in the
Yeah.
UK. So it's antsbusinesssolutions.com or antsbusinesshosting.com.
No, antshosting.com.
Anthosting.com.
Yes.
And of
So
course, you can also reach in here at the Neoliberal Corporation because he will definitely get the word. Yes. Go ahead.
okay. So also like to so add to others that, like I said before, even as an individual in your personal life, do what
Yeah.
you can to protect yourself. People do try to attack you in your own personal way. For example, so they try to get your personal information, try to get access to your banking info. You probably get a text saying, "Hey, your password for your online banking is about to expire. Use this link to update your information." This is known as phishing attack. So it appears as a legitimate email, a legitimate text, but it's actually not.
Wow, I'm
Because
happy. I think I got something like that before.
yeah,
So,
because was
say
actually
that
like
again. You got phishing or phishing, but whatever it's
phishing.
called. Phishing is not phishing, whatever, however people
No, it's
pronounce it.
pronounced phishing.
Technical.
You would spell PH is actually pronounced phishing.
Yes.
Yes.
Ah.
So it was
Yes.
phishing was actually on the rise here for the like 2 years ago, where a
Yeah.
lot of people's banking accounts got compromised.
Mm.
Yes. By the time they finished doing the analysis, these people were able to siphon over $23 million in people in total from a lot of people's bank accounts. So
Yeah.
it's very important, as I say, protect yourself. It's not about just companies trying to protect their investment, their assets. As a personal individual, you still need to protect yourself as well.
Thank you. That was, we're
Um,
gonna end right there.
yeah,
That was powerful. And by the way, you talked about endpoint. We didn't get into it, but we're gonna have more shows. You're gonna be back on the show, right?
yeah, we're gonna be
Because
back on the
I
show.
mean, at least once a month, we're gonna have to talk technology, IT stuff, new products in the market, what's the new cyber threat, the new cyber security, the new host, what's going on in the cyber world. We'll definitely have you. We're gonna do more shows like this on the show and let what are some of the new services that we offer here at the Neoliberal and the Ant Business Solutions. So we'll definitely have him back on the show. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem, man. So
Do you have
looking forward
anything?
to being back on the show.
You have the last word.
Oh no, usually I don't know the last year, but like I said, be diligent, be proactive, be safe. If you have any question, like I said, we've stated how you can reach out to us. We're very responsive. Looking forward to being back here next time, because I appreciate being here. Like I said, information is key. So
Yes.
the more information you have, the more you can protect yourself, and hope you will be more diligent in that going forward.
Thank you so much. And here we are. This is the Neoliberal podcast. We're all about serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges by making popular what was the monopoly. And coming up next on the Neoliberal podcast, we were live just now at the justice a community event with the New Pennsylvania Project, talking about how we can improve um, equality through by getting more people of color and other groups of people involved in judges. I mean, sorry, in the conversation about judges. So this was quite powerful. That's coming up next. But this show will be available first, and then after that, we'll bring it. But thank you, man. Visit us by going to anchor.fm/the-neoliberal/support. Donate to us again by going to anchor.fm/the-neoliberal/support. And don't remember, visit us at ronaldocmckenzie.com, theneoliberal.com, and antbusinesssolutions.com. My new book, Neoliberal Globalization Reconsidered, is not out as yet. I know some of you have been asking me about it. It's not out as yet, but it will be out before the end of this month. Well, take care, brother.
All right, same, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. This was powerful. And I will stop the recording. And I will.